Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of the n-OTAfied tutorial series. In this tutorial, I'll be breaking down my most recent track, Aurora, which you can download for free on my Audius and SoundCloud page. I'll add a link to the bottom of this video so you can check that out. I approached this song in a different way than I've really approached any song that I've produced before. I knew I wanted this track to be ethereal and beautiful, but also hold the weight of a rhythm track with the drums and the sub. And I also knew I wanted one drop to be in a melodic dubstep style and then kind of push the boundaries on the second drop. First, I started out with the chord progression. And to be honest, I really kind of used this chord progression throughout the whole song, just layering that into other instruments, kind of creating some space. But this was the chord progression that I used. And like I said, that layered into other instruments just really kind of created the rest of the song. So really, again, I used that same chord progression layered in multiple instruments and then had these two kind of key instruments, this little flute and this another alchemy preset here with its own sort of parameters within. And then for the drums, I used this kind of breakbeat style, just using a high cut frequency building and kind of chopped that up a bit in the second part here. But then, again, right at 11, immediately starting the mood with the rhythm drums here. I used two different, actually two different kick layers for the drums. I used a Barely Alive kick from his most recent sample pack, which you can find on Splice, and Jandy's tight techno kit. And I'm actually using Jandy's Clean AF clap as well. So shout out to Jandy. You can go check out his music. He's dope as fuck. Other than that, have a hi-hat here, which just kind of, not exactly sure where that is, but one of my collections here. And this, again, kind of just immediately starts the style. You know, you're in that kind of rhythm world. And then again, some automation here with this little background atmosphere. Right into the first drop. So with the first drop, you got to have the fake pre-drop. So I have the main bed texture, if you will, really in one instrument, which doesn't come in until the pre-drop is over. But so I'm just using for the pre-drop kind of a pulsating kind of sound. So that's just automated, built up for 4 bars there. With a riser. And then I have this little, oh, again, that was from previous. So it was actually, or I'm sorry, this is a motif that is going to actually come throughout the song, but just starting to tease that. Again, really subliminal here. I've found that a lot of the times I'm writing a lot of like moving lines that you don't really even hear, you know, consciously, but they're just kind of creating atmosphere and texture in the background. So immediately into the drop here after the pre-drop, right into this, again, the same chord progression here, but in kind of this pad that has its own moving little sequencer inside of it. This is a somatic sample, so then shout out to somatics for always putting it. And then again, this was an experimentation, you know, or an experiment, I should say. I was really, you know, just throwing this into different instruments, seeing what it sounded like. Sometimes I would just mute that or, you know, bring it in and out, but have it in the keys here, which obviously it's not I don't have it playing every single note, but kind of created a, especially now during Christmas, kind of created a nice little style there. And again, this is running in the background, so you're not really conscious of that. But again, helped with kind of the mid and high range there. With the sub, I actually had just a clean sub, and I'm using Waves Renaissance bass, which I'm using that to kind of put harmonics on the bass. And for the second layer is just kind of a buzzy layer, which again kind of helped with the mid range. Again, it's kind of subconscious, really low in the mix, but again, kind of helped make that buzz, or I'm sorry, that sub really come through. Moving on to the second, I will just say one bit about effects here. Had these moments like 39 to 43. Just a simple little down riser and another up riser here. And I think for me, one of the biggest things was using these reverse cymbals, which really helped kind of suck you into these worlds where it kind of slows down, or you kind of do feel like you're in another world for a second, and then back into it. So I'm definitely going to reuse that kind of idea, just utilizing those reverse cymbals. And then again, the vocal here, I'm just, as another sample, it's kind of, I wanted to, again, kind of in that anime style, if you will, going with a kind of lo-fi chill vibe with this vocal. I used the step effects, ethereal wash. I didn't want it to be at the forefront of the sound, kind of wanted it to really be subconscious. So you'll hear that kind of in the background. So that's for the most part all of the first drop. Again, there's a few that motif that I mentioned earlier. Just kind of creating some texture in the background with this layer as well. And you can tell there's a lot of depth and just a lot of reverb on everything, which I think helped kind of create that that space. So then we go back into the second build, which I kept fairly consistent with the first drop. I think actually I did keep it exactly the same. Maybe the kicks, I think the kicks are a little different. Yeah, I think that's just a little different. So for the second drop, like I said, I wanted to kind of have this kind of different approach, almost like an anthem. So as a reference, I used the MIDI pattern that I had made for the chord progression in the first drop, just as a reference to see which notes I could use. So once I wrote this melody, again, kind of layered that into multiple instruments. This was the main instrument with it, and again, kind of automated for the pre-drop. But I knew I wanted it to be kind of offbeat. And again, bringing in that kind of Game Boy sound, which was a theme in the first drop. And then the main thing here was really just, you know, in unison, matching that sub with that. I also used the buzz layer again, but that, I think for me, that really helped keep it clean. And one of the things that I've been doing to kind of create like variations on the sound is utilizing the Quantize option up here. So for the second half of the second drop, you can see I went up to the 8 triplets here. And then again at 83, the 5 couplets, I believe. Yeah, 5 couplets. Yeah, so I really want to continue to mess around with that idea where, you know, you can just kind of, once you have a pattern written or a melody in MIDI notes, of course, especially if they're short MIDI notes, you can just, you know, highlight the whole pattern and then go up here and just kind of mess around with Quantize and find some really cool, unique patterns that I don't think you would normally, maybe you would, but I wouldn't normally go to creatively. And for the outro, lastly, just kind of, I wanted to, you know, utilize that kind of hybrid mentality, fusing this kind of rhythm sound with a kind of a low vibe, warm style for the outro. I didn't use the buzz layer for the sub. I just used the clean sub. And then I have 2 of Somatic's chord patterns here with that same chord progression. And then this same motif and these leads, I just wanted to re-echo those. Kind of a call and response moment. But again, just leaving you with that, the rhythm drums. So you're still in that rhythm world, just a little different. So yeah, guys, that's for the most part it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to subscribe for more tutorials and mixes, please hit that subscribe button, and definitely follow me on Audius and SoundCloud, and you can download this track for free. And yeah, if you have any comments or questions, hit me up. Be safe.